Hello, my name is Orlando Vick Jr., and I have the privilege and the honor of inviting you to embark on a new journey with me as we venture into a new territory with our podcast series, WHOL Conversations. WHOL stands for Wounds Healed Out Loud, and WHOL Conversation is an extension of the work that I've done for over 20 years in the mentoring, ministry, and mental health fields. As a motivational speaker, my vision has always been to see lives change and to help people heal their wounds. This season on WHOL Conversations, my guest co-host is Miss Letitia Manning. Letitia Manning is a trusted ministry leader with a wealth of knowledge and experience in health and personal development and mental fitness. And each episode will tackle topics that many experience and have even sustained wounds from. And how do we move from being the wounded to being the healed? And that's our focus. And we're doing that by healing wounds out loud through meaningful conversations. What's up, kings and queens? Welcome to WHOL Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Orlando Vick, and
co-host Letitia Manning.
What up, Teach?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Listen, I am jubilant.
I love it.
Do you know how to spell it?
Yes.
Great.
I know how to spell it.
All right. Don't make this out to be a spelling bee class. But anyway, I'm excited about today. Are you?
Yes, I am.
Man,
I'm ready.
Listen, I am really grateful to God for giving me this assignment and being able to see it come to life. It's nothing like birthing something that not only that you have to do, but you love to do.
Yes.
Yes. You hear me?
Yes, I hear
But today I'm really excited about this because we get to motivate, empower, and impact people at large. And mental health is so important.
It is.
And I want people to live out their best life and know that doing nothing is not an option, but doing something is an option.
Yes.
When I think about, where people are today and what people need, I'm just constantly looking forward to constantly praying about people having the antidote to their bleeding, restoration, and no longer having to feel what they're going through and think that they're supposed to stay there.
Yes.
Not at all.
That's good.
God has given you another chance, even when you feel as though that there aren't at all. And I just can't wait to dive in today. But before we do this, we have to do some breathing.
Okay, I'm ready.
Breathing is important. Why do you think breathing is important?
I mean, it's a sense of calmness.
Okay.
Calm your mind, your spirit, just put you at ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when you breathe, you gotta make sure your breath smells good too. You know what I'm saying?
You better.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You breathe wrong way, knock somebody out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But no, breathing is peace. Breathing is, making sure that you are being, number one, one of the biggest things that I love about breathing is you recognize you still have life.
Yes. Oh, that's a great point.
And you have life more abundantly.
Yes.
Above all you can even ask or think, right? And also, I love that when you're breathing, you can ease stress. You can ease the anxiety. And you can let go the dead weight that you've been carrying and bearing for a while.
Oof. Yeah.
Okay. And so I want to do some breathing. You want to do some breathing?
Yes.
And I want you to. I want all of you, everybody tuned in, everybody that's in. I want you to, oh my God, I want you to breathe with me. Let's do this together because I'm on a journey with you. You're on a journey with me. And together, we're going to get to healing together. All right. So let's do this healing thing. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to count to 3. And we're going to inhale and exhale before we dive in. Ready?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Again. One last time.
Wow. I feel great. You
I
feel
feel
good?
great, yes.
I feel great.
It's very helpful to do that.
Oh man. I've released some things.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now be careful when you're breathing. Sometimes feel like you got lightheaded. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you inhale, you know what we just did, I recognize that we inhale peace.
Yes.
And exhale stress. You know, we inhale joy and vitality, and we exhale depression.
Yes.
We
Gotta get rid of
inhale
that.
positivity
Yes.
and light, and exhale all negativity.
Yes.
That's what we just did.
That's right.
And
You
I am
definitely don't want
happy
negativity.
about that.
Me too. Me too.
Wow. And so today we are dealing with History Maker.
Ooh.
Curse
Breaker. Come on.
Okay? If you're a history maker and curse breaker, let me hear you say it. I'm a history maker and
I'm
a
a
curse
curse
breaker.
breaker.
Come on. You got to make sure that you believe
That's
what
right.
you speak.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so I'm excited about today.
Me
and
too.
one of the things that I know that I'm a history maker and a curse breaker, because one, I know that there's some things that was in my bloodline
Yes. Ooh. Yeah.
that I had to really kind of check my vein on, because I knew that I was not going to be bound by what my bloodline developed.
Yes.
And so I'm excited to know that I'm a history maker and a curse breaker. One, coming from poverty and understanding the lack of knowledge and finances, the lack of knowledge
Yes.
and relationships.
That's good.
That, I was able to break barriers and curses that tried to live with me and live for me at the
That's
same
good.
time.
That's good.
Right.
Live for me.
And the craziest thing about, curses over your life from your bloodline is that, how about this, that you live with things you didn't even choose for yourself.
Very true. Very true.
What you got to say about that?
I just think about the fact of, it comes from, like you said, your bloodline through
Yeah.
different generations. And so a lot of times the things that affect you now, again, is based off of maybe how your parents grew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so those traditions, those, habits or whatever it is, they basically were taught that. And that's how they teach you with what they learned.
Wow.
And so as a result, in your life as you're growing up, you're thinking, okay, well, this is normal or this is good. But then you realize, wait a minute, it's a problem with that. Like, this isn't something that's good for me.
Yeah.
It's not a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it until, later on as you get older in life and you're like, I need to change that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thank God for that history maker, curse breaker.
History maker, curse breaker. And I enjoy that because I'm not stuck
No.
where something was trying to keep me.
Yes.
And it was important for me to be a history maker, curse breaker, because I'm going to be honest with you, when you grow up into something, you really think that you own that space.
Yes, exactly.
And you really don't.
Yeah, you don't.
And sometimes what someone else created
Oof.
is what now you have to live in and live out. And it's hard when you can't break something that's over your life that you didn't even ask for, and then still have to do life with things you do walk into.
Yes.
And what's crazy is there are some things that I even walked into. So you have the one thing where you have some things you did not choose for yourself. And then you have the things you did choose for yourself, but they come from the things that was chose for you too.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's a
And
great point.
and one of the things that helped me be a curse breaker is that when I identified some of the things that I knew that that came onto me, I started facing them and identifying them.
Yeah.
Not only that, but people that loved me identified them.
Oh,
And
wow.
people were basically telling me certain things like, that I needed to really break.
Yeah.
Because it was like it was detrimental to what I was becoming and what I was. And I had to really make sure that I was doing the very thing for myself
Yes.
to be the best I can be. And so, you know, when you're curse breaking, it may even cause for you to walk away from some people.
Yes, absolutely.
When you're doing curse breaking, it may cause you to be by yourself.
That's right. That's
And
right.
when you're curse breaking, it becomes a reality that you're not even prepared for.
Right.
But when you're ready to make the change beyond yourself, because even when you make change beyond yourself, what happens is you become an asset to, you know, like for me as a male, I become an asset to my wife.
Yes, that's right.
You know, so I become an asset to my children.
That's right.
And I become an asset to the global population that I have been assigned to.
That's right.
So bring a curse breaker is even letting go some selfishness.
Oh,
What do you have to say about
really
that?
good. I think about what you were touching about, even with children. You know, it's important too for the life of your children. You know, to break that curse. You know, to not pass on whatever it was that you may have learned, or you know, you were taught, or whatever the case may be, and you feel like you know it's a bad thing, but you want to change, and you make the steps to change, but don't also forget about those that are with you, those that, you know, watch what you do, like your children. You know what I'm saying? It's important what you do, what you believe, right? That impacts the thinking of your children as well.
Wow.
So if you know, you have that history of constant doubt, negativity, fear, and rejection, you know, and you feel like, okay, I can't move forward with a new job, or with getting a house, or I'm just naming some things, just general things, but
No, that's good.
you know, your kids see that. So it's like, okay, well, man, mom or dad, you know, every time they turn around, I mean, my friends have houses. My friends have, you know, their parents are this or that. Why can't my mom and dad be that? You know what I mean? And we limit ourselves because of a fear of rejection, you know, a fear of whatever it could be, whatever the fear is, we limit ourselves, and our children see that. And because we do that, that impacts their way of thinking. So they're going to think, well, if my mom and dad, they only believe this, or they can only do this, then this is all I can do. This is as good as I'll ever be, because that's all they know that role model or that person to be.
Yeah.
So it's important, you know, how we do, whatever we do, it does impact our kids.
Wow, that's so powerful. When I think about history maker and curse breaker, I also think about, you know, even when you come down to your friends.
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
get what
good.
I'm saying?
Yes.
Because there are some things that, you know, you and your friends used to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and you know, something have, you know, awakened you, letting you know that, you know, maturity is kicking in.
Yes.
You're now getting ready to get a spiritual, mental, and emotional growth spurt.
Yes.
And the things that you are doing are no longer, appealing to where you're going, right?
Right, that's right.
So, you know, when you're curse breaking, you're letting go of the things that you used to love.
And that's a tough thing to do. That's a tough
You're
thing
letting
to
go
do.
some of the things you used to love.
Yes.
And you become a history maker, because what happens is that you no longer stay there anymore, and you make the decision to change, transform, and become something greater.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, and this is when I thought that I wanted to be a great friend. So it was okay for me to be a curse breaker and a history maker, because I understood that eventually my friends will want something out of life at some point.
Yes.
But if we were all on the same level, who is that person we look up to? Who is that?
good.
You know. So I decided to be the curse breaker, get out of the pod, and be a history maker and change. And so when my friends got ready to change, they had someone to come to.
That's good.
Because
That's really
somebody
good.
decided to break the curse.
Yes.
You know.
That's a great point.
You know, even in your family, you know,
Yes.
certain things are going on, you know, and you decide that, you know, if you were verbal abused, You decide to be a curse breaker and a history maker, not making your kids to be a victim of verbal abuse.
That's right.
You know, when you are a parent and, you know, and I mean, with your child and you have gone through neglect, you decided to break the curse.
That's right.
And be a history maker and not allow your children to go through neglect, you know? And so I think that those things are very powerful, even in relationship. You know, you've seen verbal abuse or physical abuse, you know, domestic violence, you know, shall I just say, as a whole. And you're like, okay, I saw it, but I'm gonna be a curse breaker, and I'm going to be a history maker, and I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's right.
You know, even in your finances, same thing.
Yes.
You know, a lot of us don't come. I know I didn't come from a lot of money. You know, at all.
You're not
you get what
yourself.
I'm saying? So the thing about it is that I recognized that over time, I didn't want to stay there and have the same conversation about finances and how I handle finances. No, I wanted to learn what money does, how money moves, how it circulates, and, you know, and how it rotates, and how you sort it and everything within that nature. Because I was like, okay, I'm no longer handling money as if I'm in poverty.
That's right.
What do you have to say about that?
I think that's a great point, especially when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
Just really everything you touched on. But with finances, I know for me, it's the same thing. I didn't grow up in wealth. You know, I had to learn everything from the ground up, you know, and go through situations that it taught me to do better. It taught me like, okay, this doesn't work, so you need to go about it this way, or how else can you know, can you make this work, but in a healthy way, in the right way, you know? And so, you know, and even over time, even with my faith, like I learned, honestly, to tell you the truth, I learned a lot of things finances wise in the Bible. Because the Bible talks a lot about giving tithes and offerings and being a good steward over what you have. And really, that was some of the ways that I learned.
I wish I would have learned from you.
How to
I
do
couldn't
that.
save a quarter.
Well, hey, you being truthful.
I couldn't save a quarter.
It took me a minute, but I would just say I'm a good steward. Now I'm still progressing, you know, and I'll get there. But yeah, it just takes time.
Now you can't even. I'm saving quarters now.
Yeah,
you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, and I love that you said that. That's so profound, so impactful, and so motivating. That you felt, like you said, no one taught me. I had to find it out for myself.
Yes.
And I knew that some of the things that I saw in my bloodline, we were like, and when I grew up, you know, looking good was one thing, but looking good. But then when you grow up and you like, hold up, looking good but broke, them two don't mix.
Right.
And so I wanted to, and growing up, man, I was to hear this one thing, and it used to be like, oh, you only live once. And I was like,
I've heard that many times.
I was like, hold up, I only live once. I'm like, but the way I'm going, it looks like I'm only going to live once.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that I wasn't building anything.
Right.
And I wanted to, I loved having things. So I wanted to know how to keep things.
Yes, that's good.
You know, and so but here's the deal. I went out and I searched for the very thing that I wanted, and I searched for the very person that I wanted to become.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
Wow.
So I want to know, like, when you're talking about the history maker and the curse breaker, what curses did you break and what history did you make?
Wow. Mine's had to be financial, relationships, like toxic relationships.
Wow.
Because in my family, it wasn't really, I didn't really see good examples of healthy relationships growing up. Not too many of them, I should say. I'm not saying they don't exist in my family, but it just wasn't too many of them.
Right.
And so that is why I believe that's a lot of the reasons why, even going into my marriage, you know, at that time, I was young and I didn't have that example of, okay, what is it to have a healthy toxic free relationship.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You know, marriage. What did it look like as a good balance? Those things I didn't see. I didn't know. So I pretty much developed my own idea of what I thought it should look like, right? And so as a result, you know, that y'all know how that ended, that ideology I had, it was not a good, it wasn't good. So I had to start again, you know, that clean slate, go from the beginning and relearn, you know, what I needed, get those tools I needed to grow and develop in a healthier way with a healthy mindset. And now as a result, I could honestly say that the relationships that I have now, they're healthier. You know, I'm growing. It's a even exchange between the both of us.
Wow.
Whatever relationship I have.
Yeah.
You know, and I thank God for that.
Oh wow. I think that's really impactful because you know, I saw, you know, domestic violence.
Yes.
You know, I've seen toxic relationships. And so what part of me took on that type of character or what type of those situations haunted me going into relationships. And so and there was just a part of me that I just knew that wasn't well.
Yes,
because of what was inflicted on me.
Yes.
And what I had to live with and suffer with trying to be normal in abnormal situations.
That's good.
You
I
know?
like that.
And so
Trying to be normal. When you said trying to be normal in abnormal situations.
Do you now? I'm talking. But that was one of the things that really bothered me. And one of the biggest things that hurt us a lot is knowing when things are wrong, but trying to portray as if it's right.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's not a healthy way of living at all. And so, you ready for this one? Even a lot of curse breaking had to do with a lot of me apologizing to people that I literally broke down because of my curse, of the curse. Because it's not mine. It's not mine. Because of the curse. I had to apologize to some people. Because I hurt some people having a curse over my life.
Right.
Operating the curse, you know, and in me, it destroyed some of my character because I had to fight with something that I did not ask for.
Yes. Wow.
With trying to fight with something that I took on at the same time, you know, and when those two consolidate, oh man, it's a lot. It's really a lot. Even dealing with the understanding of while curse breaking, I've had to make some decisions even with my parents.
Yes.
Make some decisions even with my parents. And I love my parents. I love the little short people. You feel what I'm saying? Lollipop kids. I love them. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, I mean, when I tell you I love my parents and they the shortest people I ever met in my life, they're the Oompa Loompa kids. But what I'm telling you, they are amazing. But there are some things that I knew that was in my bloodline that I had to break.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And because I knew that there was something greater for me. And I want to encourage you and I want to let you know that, you know, when you know certain things aren't right in your life, don't hold on to it. Don't keep it and don't own it.
Right.
At all.
That's good.
And even when you don't know what it is, an uncle of mine, his name is Aaron Goodwin. My Aunt Talena, her husband. He told me, he gave me 2 words and I will never forget it. And that is, he said, nephew, you have to do self-evaluation and self-preservation.
Oh, that's good.
And that changed my life because it got me to start to reflect on myself and to do a spiritual, a mental, and an emotional surgery on myself to make sure that I got healthy. And when I started to face things, I started to become healthy.
Yes.
When I started to become healthy, I no longer was empty. When I no longer was empty, the curses was breaking.
Yes.
And as curses was breaking, I was history making.
That's good.
And so it was
All
just
right.
like, wow. And I was just really like elated that God was taking me to a place that I never seen myself getting to. And but by his grace
That's right.
and by his stripes, I'm healed and
That's
whole.
right. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Like, so talk to me about some of the, the spiritual guidance and instruction and direction that, you took to get you on your journey. I'm proud of you. You just bought a house.
Thank you,
And
bro.
everything. You feel what I'm saying?
It's been a couple
Got
years.
about, well, I mean, yeah, it's been a couple of years.
But
but
still.
I just found out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all right. It's all good. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? You got a lot of room.
Yeah.
You could open up church. But when you told me about the story about your, can we talk about that for a minute?
Well,
about
got
the
you.
story about
Yeah.
your house.
All right.
And I was picking with you about something they tried to hide the key under the
Oh,
rock.
yes.
And I was like, on this rock, I'm going to build my house.
That's right.
So let's talk about that. Let's go.
Yeah, it was a point where the closing,
Yeah.
when it came to the closing, everything was set. The U-Haul was packed, and I had took off from work. I only had one day. That was it. I had to get everything done in one day.
Wow.
So I went to the attorney's office, closing attorney's office, and they basically said to me, well, we can't close you today. And I said, okay. I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I'm expecting to be in my house today with my children.
Wow.
And so, of course, I went into panic mode, not in front of them. But, I went outside to the U-Haul truck. I began to pray. And I was just like, Lord, I said, I know that you put this, this dream, you put it out there for me. I said, I know the timing is perfect. Your timing is always perfect. And I just have to believe and rest, knowing that you have it under control.
Wow.
And so I called a realtor. I let her know. And she said, I'll talk to them. So I probably was in the U-Haul truck for maybe about an hour or so. And so they called my number because I was still sitting in the parking lot. They didn't know. I didn't even move because I didn't know where to go yet. So, and they said, oh, well, you could come back. We'll have you closed today, but it won't be until 6:00 at night.
Wow.
So I said, okay. So anyway, we closed and everything. We went to the house. And so the agent that was at the model home, she was like, oh, well, I left the key, she said, under the rock. Okay, well, the house, it has rocks all in front, like rocks on the side, rock. So which rock was it? But she said she had told the other lady, that to give me the key. The lady couldn't find the daggone key, y'all. You
Wow.
hear me? She couldn't find a key. Anyway, I be getting hyped up about that.
Oh.
But so it took a minute.
You need to breathe again.
Yes, I need to meditate. Okay, when I think about that.
You need that 3 count.
Yeah.
You need that 3. She need that 3 piece.
So finally, we had to keep calling the lady. She finally answered. This was probably like 9 o'clock at night. So the lady finally answered. She told her where the key was, and I said, finally, God, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. I was so happy, y'all, because we finally got to be in the house. But that was all God. That was all God.
He would do exceedingly.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
and I
my
just thought to
God.
myself, I was like, man, I said a single parent,
A single parent.
with 2 children. And I was like, a full-time, mom or working mom or whatever. And I said,
Come on.
look at how God did it to where,
Come on.
I'm that history maker, curse breaker.
Hey!
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I just love that. I just thank God. I mean, it's just an awesome testimony.
I mean, literally. Now, listen to the single moms out there.
All right,
come on here. Can you motivate the single moms right now? They don't think they gonna buy a house. Okay.
All I have to say is, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's a house, I don't care if it's a car, I don't care if it's getting your education, I don't care if it's eating right, exercising, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, if it's something that's in your heart and you really believe for it, write those goals out. Figure out, okay, what do I need to do to get towards reaching my goal? And you
That's
just take
good.
it step by step.
That's
you know what
good.
I mean? And you do that, and more than likely you're gonna accomplish those goals. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to.
Wow.
So, but anyway, God is
Wait,
good.
but this is a woman who went through hell and hot water in a relationship,
Yeah.
divorced,
Yes.
had financial issues.
Yes.
You know, have you ever had low credit score, whatever?
Yeah, for sure.
Low credit score.
Of course. I had to build up my credit again.
Had to build up credit again.
Yes.
All this other extra stuff. But here's the kicker. You not only bought your house, but you built your house.
Yes.
Come on here. What?
That's right. God is good. God is
And
good.
so this is so amazing.
Yes.
Because it shows you ready for this? I'm about to bust your head wide open.
Go ahead.
It shows you how your struggle can come to a greater outcome.
That is so true. And get
All
this.
right.
Get this. Even in the same instance, I think it was like maybe 3 months afterward when I bought my house, I bought a brand new car. All in the same
No,
stretch.
you ain't just buy your house. You built your house.
Yes.
Do not leave that out.
Yes, I built my, yes.
You
my
built
house
and bought.
got built. Yes.
You got 2 B's.
Yes.
You got
built
BB.
and bought it. Yes.
Go ahead.
And then I got a car. I bought a car in the same stretch of time. So God is good. I mean,
And she ain't got any type of car. She ain't got any type of
I
car.
have a nice car. That's all I'm gonna say.
So,
He's saying God is good.
no, you are blessed
I truly
and
am.
highly
I'm truly
favored.
blessed. Yes, and I'm highly
Because
favored.
favor
yes.
ain't fair.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's amazing because it lets you know that you are able to make it.
Yes, absolutely.
When you break it.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right.
You are able to
break
make
them
it
curses.
when
break
you
those
break
curses.
it.
Yes.
And that is so important. So here's the deal. What you mean, Vic, when you say you will make it when you break it? Break the poverty.
Yes.
Break the negativity.
Yes, absolutely.
Break the depression.
Yes.
Break the anxiety. Break the idea of suicide.
Yes.
Okay? Break negative relationships
Yes.
and negative attention.
Absolutely.
And toxicity
That's right.
of relationships and friends. Yeah.
You have
Because
to.
you need to make sure, just like when we took those breaths,
Yes.
that's the same way your life need to breathe. Because you can breathe your way into a situation that you never thought that you would have.
That's very
Don't
true.
discount or discredit yourself from believing what you can have.
Yes. That's
Don't
good.
allow your now to dictate your future. Because she's a prime example. I'm a prime example of a history maker, curse breaker. And, you know, I say to myself, and I didn't think I was going to be a curse breaker because, you know, understanding that my mom had 3 boys, you know, and not, you know, and wasn't married. You know, I had my kids, wasn't married. But the thing about it is that I said to myself, I said, wow. I said, my mom, she didn't abandon us.
That's right.
My mom, she didn't, you know, I see some things that she may have done that I do differently, or I may have seen some things my dad have done, but I do differently. And that's what I mean by curse breaking
Yes.
and history making.
Yes.
And do you not understand? Here's the deal, because sometimes I don't even like to get into the place of, like, you know, downing parents and all of that.
Right,
Because
right.
see, the thing
That's
about
right.
it is, because I have to be positive about my parents, because I have to understand that you have to understand this, and I had to learn this, is that I'm glad my mom stopped where she did.
Yeah.
I'm glad my dad stopped where he did, because you can have parents that would try to take you somewhere that they can't take you.
That's right.
And you better be glad that they stopped where they needed to stop at,
Yes.
and that God put somebody in your life to take you to your next.
That's right.
God put
That's right.
keys and a door into somebody else's hand to help you walk through it.
Absolutely.
And right then and there was your curse breaking moment.
Yes.
And your history making moment at the same time. And I'm a prime example of that. You know, there are many things that I really wanted to do that I could not do. if by my father's guidance, direction, or instruction, where God has put another person in place to give me guidance, direction, and instruction to be able to help me break the curse.
That's right.
You know, because here's the deal. The person, and sometimes you got people who are your family and your friends who are wearing the curse that don't know how to get rid of the curse. So you could be operating with them
Right.
and they'd never get rid of the curse.
Right.
How about this? You got some people in your family that would never get rid of the curse.
Yes.
Would never be a history maker.
Right.
But you have the opportunity to defeat the very thing that was given to you and even the thing that you walked into.
That's right.
And that is incredible.
Yes.
That is incredible and everybody right now, if you're dealing with that, going through that, have been through that, I want you to honestly rejoice and believe that there's a next for you to be able to break the curses off your life and to be a history maker. And for those who are history makers right now, let's pull up the ones who's trying to break the curse.
That's right.
Because we already know what it's like to try to break a curse.
Yes.
But you're a prime example. You're a prime example. And look what your children get to see.
Yes.
Look what your community get to see.
Yes.
Wow.
And you know what? I wanted to touch back on what you were talking about with the parents.
Yeah, go ahead.
About, you were saying not speaking negative of your parents. I had to learn that my parents, they grew up culturally because, we're from Jamaica. My parents are Jamaican.
Uh-oh.
So
Excavate fish.
I was born in Jamaica. So they grew up from culturally what they know. They grew up. That's the way they grew up. So they were only doing what they knew best to do and how to raise us. So I can't really fault them for that. You know what I mean? They did the best they could.
Yeah.
And that's for anybody, who's a parent out there. And even now, as your kids get older, because I've had conversations with my children, now that they're older. And I would just tell them, as a single parent, I did the best I could do. I didn't always get it right. I was never perfect.
Wow.
But I did the best I can do with what I had to work with and what I knew.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And and I hear people say sometimes, I've heard this phrase before, now that you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as you know better, you can't make an excuse anymore of, no, give yourself the opportunity to change for the better. You know what I mean? So those are great points that you said.
I love what you said because the best apology is a change behavior.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Yeah. And, and I think that sometimes, even when I was getting apologies or having to give them, sometimes you're the same. And then you're wondering why your apologies are not moving people. Is because your behavior is the same.
Yes.
And so, like you said, even with my parents grew up very, very, traditional. And so instead of wanting to hurt them by discrediting them, I just had to understand where they were and where I wasn't.
That's good.
And where I then became to understand where I was and where I needed to go. And so when I matured into my mind, I no longer allowed what they did not do to affect me, because you have to understand that plays on your mental health. It plays on your in every aspect of your life, allowing the hurt of your parents to really have an impact on you, because you'll go into various things with that hurt and it'll trigger off so many different things.
Absolutely.
And I had to realize that, no, I'm not going to focus on what I felt like they did not do. I'm going to focus on breaking a curse, and I'm going to focus on making sure I'm a history maker.
That's so good.
And that's just what it is.
That reminds me of a story in the Bible. It's in the book of Judges, I believe. Is it Judges? Yeah, I think it's Judges chapter 6. And it's talk about Gideon.
You walking tall.
And so Gideon, with a little history behind that, is that the Israelites, right? They basically had a lot of generational curses. So they worshiped other gods. They did whatever it was. Everything that God told them not to do, they did the opposite of that. Okay?
Like us all.
Right. And so when they did that, what God did was he would say, okay, well, since you're straying away or since you're doing this, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up judges in place to give you a warning.
Okay.
You know, and then the judges would be when they give you the warning, and the prophets or whatever, then it would turn the people of Israel back to God.
You preaching.
So then what would happen is they would be turned back for a little bit until they start to cut up again, you know.
Wow.
So they cut up again. And then this time what had happened was...
you keep talking heavy, I'm going to cut up.
Yes, God sent one more prophet. And so he sent the prophet to tell the people of Israel, hey, look, you continue to turn to other gods. I need you to turn back to me and stop worshiping Baal and all these other things. And so what the angel of the Lord did was, after he gave them the prophet to give them that warning, right? They heard it, but their heart still wasn't right. So the angel of the Lord went to Gideon. This is how, now this is what Gideon was doing.
She tuning up, y'all. She tuning up.
Yes, I thought this was funny. So the people of Israel were so oppressed, right? That because the people, the Midianites would basically come and ravish the land. They would take all their food, right? And basically leave them with nothing.
Wow.
To starvation. Okay. So now this is all having to do with generational curses because of what their parents did. Their parents did not set it in place to let them know about God, what he had done for them, right? And what is in store for their children's children, right? So anyway, so Gideon is threshing wheat. So he's basically separating the seeds from the stalk, right? He's hiding it though. He had to hide it.
Wow.
He had to hide the food because the Midianites would come and steal it. So as he was hiding the food, working and hiding the food, the angel came to him. The angel Lord came to him, and he basically addressed him as this. He said, mighty warrior.
Mighty warrior.
Mighty warrior. Gideon's response was, this is how we get so oppressed, right? Because of those generational curses and what we think. Gideon's first response was pretty much like, are you talking to me? Like, if I'm so mighty, why are we oppressed? Why do I have to do all this? Why my clan isn't that great? I mean, he's making up all these excuses as to why he's not able to do or be who God has called him to be for the assignment that he's going to give him. Mm-hmm. So pretty much the Lord hears him, but he ignores that part. I say he ignores it because the angel of the Lord addressed him again and basically told him, okay, this is your assignment. I want you to go and I want you to defeat the Midianites. And it's going to be as if it was one man to destroy an entire army, right? And so I just love the word of God. But anyway, so pretty much when he did that, right, he went out, he did as he was supposed to. I'm making a long story short. So pretty much when he did that, right, they were at peace for 40 years when he destroyed the Midianites. And God only did it with 300 men. That's it. That's all God needed. It narrowed down from 2,000 soldiers to 300 men. Now, the 40 years of peace was wonderful. But guess what Gideon did again because of generational curses? He went right back to what his parents or generations before them did and was worshiping idols.
Wow.
So he took all the gold. He made it into an ephod or some type of apron, right? And the people of Israel began to worship it. So when they worshiped it, all they did was go back to what they knew.
Wow.
They did not allow God to break the curse that they could have easily got broken. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just all a part of if we teach our children, right? What was former, the things that they learned former, what was wrong.
Don't you start.
We recognize the wrong, right? We recognize what we need to change, but we don't teach our children that.
Wow.
So as a result, they're repeating history.
Wow.
Right? And so as they repeat history, they don't really know the past they came from to know where they're going. So if you don't know where, you can't have a future. Or let me say it. Let me slow down. What I'm saying is, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. I believe Maya Angelou might have said that. I might be saying it wrong. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. But pretty much, if they knew, I just believe if they knew their history, where they came from and what was happening, then he would have been, Gideon would have been like, okay, wow, this is what I don't need to be doing. I need to not follow in my parents' footsteps or the generations before me.
Right.
I want to receive my blessings. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with us. It's whatever our family have done that we follow in their footsteps, because guess what? Families keep secrets, right?
Yes, they do.
And they don't tell you about, okay, the bad things that have gone on. This is what you don't need to do. Instead, they watch us make those, and I'm not saying this is in every family. They'll watch us make those mistakes. And then what happens is all we're doing is repeating the same cycle they did.
Same cycle, yeah.
And we don't break that curse.
Repetition cycle.
But when we know what it is that we need to break, then guess what? We can say, okay, I will no longer be a part of that.
Yeah.
I want to change my future.
Yeah.
And then we're able to do that.
Absolutely.
So I know that was a lot.
No, that was good.
But
that was good. Now I know you don't eat steak and potatoes, but I do. Okay, I know you eat bird seeds and chimichangas. But see, I'm letting you know now. That was meat and potatoes for me. You hear what I'm saying?
Good.
But vegan chicken chungas.
Yeah, right. Because you can't say.
But so that was really good, and I love that, and we definitely have to let the people know just from that place on, to stop the repetitious cycle.
Yes, absolutely.
Break the repetitious cycle.
Yes, break it. Yeah.
Face the repetitious cycle.
Yes.
And, and like I said before, we have to detect it. We have to diagnose it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And develop from it, know?
Yes, absolutely.
And I would say this, even curse breaking can even be like, especially if depression is in your bloodline.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
And especially when, when people are speaking negative all the time, that can be in your bloodline, and so that right there, you have to get prepared to identify exactly what's in your bloodline and begin to break it immediately. Do not live with something that you did not ask for, and stop living with things that you did walk into, because at the end of the day, you're maturing and God has you in a growth spurt, and he wants so much for you than you ever seen.
Yes.
Absolutely. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't stay there. Clinically, I'm going to be, you're going to see some things that I'm going to, put on the screen for you, because I want you to be able to know the side effects that come with, history making and curse breaking, and keeping those generational curses on you and what they do to you mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
that's right.
and all of that, because I want to help you. Yeah. And so, Letitia, I want to thank you so much for, bringing that story up. It wasn't too much. It was just right.
Okay.
And I appreciate that you brought that up. What you said helped me. And I know what you said is going to help somebody else.
Absolutely.
And I hope that what we just discussed, history maker, curse breaker, that you're doing it immediately right now. If whatever you don't know that you're going through, and the stuff that you do know you're going through, like I said, my uncle, he gave me two things: self-evaluation.
That's right.
Self-preservation.
So
I had to let him know. That's my Uncle Eric. Good way. That's what he gave me. And I want to just let him know that has helped me in breaking curses and being a history maker.
Awesome.
Wow. Awesome. Because we talked about something so deep, and I want you to understand this, like anytime that, you have strong conversations, heavy conversations that are just, uncomfortable, begin to understand that you're releasing some bad air, some bad energy. And now you're restoring yourself after what you have just now let out. All right. So let's begin to breathe again. All right.
All right. Okay. I need it.
So you ready? You ready?
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Here, let's do it.
I need it.
So on the count of 3, we're going to breathe together. We're journeying together.
Yes.
We're journeying together.
Absolutely.
So on the count of 3, we're gonna breathe together. Ready? Here we go.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Exhale. Again. Exhale. One more time. Exhale.
I needed
I
that.
feel good.
Yeah, me too.
I feel good.
Me too.
Well, thank y'all so much
Thank you.
For tuning in. And that's our episode of History Maker, Curse Breaker. Peace.
Bye.
Our discussion focused on generational cycles, how they impact our lives, and how we can use adverse occurrences to establish new healthy paths. The new trajectory aids us in breaking curses and help us create new precedents for our lives. Thank you for engaging in this whole conversation. On our next episode, we'll discuss navigating life after loss. And I invite you to join us as we dive deeper into WHOL Conversations.